Hello and welcome to this tutorial on how to set up a dart formation using the mesh animation, which is way more performant than the Unity animator alone. First we go into Tools, Hubs and Games, go to Animation Baker. There we add our character prefab. Then we add animations which we want to bake. For Archer, this is attack ranged, attack sword, death, idle, shear, knockback, and I'm not so sure about those ones right now, but it's not bad. And their walk animations. Then we just drag and drop them in here. Our material needs to be referenced. There's soldier. And I'm just gonna clear the ones that I created earlier. Okay, now we can set the frame rate to 70%, just not have that much data. The lower this is, the worse the baked animation will be, but the higher the performance is. Then we need to add the bones which we want to bake, those being right hand and left hand, and then we click bake all animations. As now our animations baked, and we have this little object here. We can just add a frame inside here just to get presentation. Then we need to add to try it out, the mesh animation manager, this one here, add it to the scene. And this is because the earlier ones are still inside here that I deleted, but for you they will be set up. And then if it's not, just delete everything and drag and drop everything back inside here. Now we can select the auto clip just to preview it. As you can see, the animation is playing. Hope you don't mind my bad animation skills, but this is what is this? The idle animation. As you can see, the baked positions are also working out perfectly. Okay, nice. What we first need to do is we need to set up animation events. I'm just gonna look up how they are called by the examples. Yes, on attack. Then we go to sword attack. On attack, this is the percent where in the animation it should be played, say in the middle. And then we need to go to the actual shooting attack range, also edit. But here at the value of 1, I think here it was also somewhere around here. Then we can create a prefab out of that and remove it. Now we add our soldier, the one with the Unity animator. There we can already add the controller, create the empty parent, unit, and the unit script, and adjust those values. Let's then add the tag unit and the layer unit. And we can already reference the agent. The visual transform is our soldier. Then search for waypoint prefab. That's a child and set it to 0. prefab and reference the included elements. Then we add a animator link. Since it is mesh animated, we add a animator link mesh. Reference it like the animator link. And we can already reference our animator, the unit, and the skinned mesh animator. Now we can add our created mesh animated soldier, set it to 0. Why we have both inside here is when we get close to the unit, then or the formation later on, then we use the Unity animator because it looks better. But if we get further away, then the system switches to the mesh animator, which is way better for performance. That's why we have both. And then we can also reference the mesh animator. What we need to do now, since it switches between the Unity animator and the mesh animator, the weapons also need to switch between those two. So we need to create now game objects to where they should switch to. Let's call that bow. And this one here is red. And then we can add the bow prefab, since this is a ranged unit. The scale is way off on this bow. I have no idea why. But for a demonstration, I think it is good enough. And okay, I forgot we need to set it to 0, 0, 0. And here we don't adjust the bow itself, but the holder, since the bow will always be set to the position 0 of its holder. Okay, this looks good enough. Then what we need to do now, this is the same process as with the Unity animated archer. We need to the shoot point or position where the arrows will actually come from. Let's say it like this. And add the arrow prefabs. Add as many arrows as you want to have at the end. We need to set them to 0, of course. And we can disable those. Then we go back to the bow, reference the shoot point, and reference the arrows. Okay, nice. What we can now do also is add a sword, which is poorly visual, but it's always good to have. And here it is the same, that we need to change the parent and not the sword itself. Okay, we can disable it, since it will probably start in archer position and not as in close combat. Then we reference the melee weapon and the ranged weapon, and here also the melee animator parent. This here is it for the sword. And for the bow the same. Then we can do the same thing for the mesh animated. For that we need to go into play mode, and it's better to disable the nav mesh, the unit, this is the structural target for that, to not get any errors in the console because the formation is not found. Okay, now we can click pause and go to the left hand, create also a bow object. And let's just disable both the armature and the character, so we only have the mesh animated and the view, and not also the Unity animated. Here we can also add the bow prefab, or even better, we can copy the one that we already have here, that as a child, and then set it to 0. Now we adjust here the holder also. This looks good enough. Copy the position or the whole component, then go back to the hand, create an empty one, call it bow, and paste the component. Then we do the same for the right hand. Let's sword. Let's duplicate the sword again for that side here. Set everything to 0. And let's also set this inactive and this. So we only have the mesh animation. You can also see when it is mesh animated and not Unity because you cannot click it. It is not drawn within the scene. Okay, then set this word active so we can actually see something. And here, pause, adjust the position as wanted. Then click copy again, component. Let's actually call this the right way. And paste the component values. Now we can go back to the unit. Enable nav mesh agent, destructible target, and unit again. And now we can set up for the melee weapon the parent when it's mesh animated. And for the bow, we don't have a shield and we don't have a saddle, so that works out. What we also need to do is now reference the mesh animated animations. So walk, idle, attack is the melee attack, attack ranged attack, raise shield we don't have because this is an archer, it has no shield. Then the death animation and the knockback animation, which I forgot to bake, so we will just use this one instead. But here should be the knockback animation. Okay, nice. Now this is finished and we can create a prefab out of it. Let's look if we have everything. Yes, everything is there. This time the controller is also referenced, which is great. One more thing. If you go into the prefab searcher, go to the mesh animator, we can disable this because it starts as Unity animation and then it switches. Okay, then the rest of the setup is as Unity animated. We create a formation, add a formation script, go to one of the pre-made unit data, for us being archers, and duplicate it. Let's name this our mesh archers. Okay, and reference it at the unit data. Now we add as many units as we want to have in the formation. For now, 20. Add the formation collider prefab and reference it here and here. Then we can add the visualizers to actually know what the formation is doing. Melee detection for close combat, formation path to see the path, and archer range to see its range, and reference the visualizers. And now click create formation. Everything is set up. You can see already the gizmos of the detection settings and the collider of the size for the melee detection. Then create a prefab. We can delete that. And then our unit data reference the created formation prefab. Then that's it. We can go to the scene. Firstly to the army, where we reference our created army, our mesh archers, and click play. Oh, or not click play because we are in the wrong scene currently. So let's go to the right scene. And click play. What will happen is when we are really far away from the formation, we will see nothing because we did not create LOD levels, which can show. Yes, now they are gone because we only have one, but this shows already that it is working. So now they are shooting or not. Okay, I forgot to add a component. Let's go back to the unit. To the animator and at the relay animation events mesh. And here, not the relay animation events, reference the unit. And go to the mesh animator and here at the relay animation events mesh. And reference the unit. Okay, but now it will be working, hopefully. Let's put those a bit further. Now they are still mesh animated. So let's see first if they shoot there. Yes, the arrows are shooting. Nice. And now they should be unity animated and they are still shooting. We can also look at it up to the soldier. Here you can see the animator is disabled, so they are mesh animated. And when we get closer, the animator is on, so they are now unity animated. The reason why they are shooting so fast in mesh animation is because this animation is set to looping. Yes, we can click this off and then they won't shoot permanently. This fucked the system a bit, but if it is set up right to not looping, then it will work out. Okay, nice. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope it worked for you.